Good morning, NCCP and friends.
Hi, Pastor John, and hi, everybody out there.
Good morning, Pastor Melissa. It's a rainy Friday morning, and we're thankful to be indoors here, dry, talking to you.
But we will say the whole weekend is supposed to be a washout. So the primary announcement we have for this week is that the family party that was scheduled for the parsonage is actually going to be moved indoors to the gymnasium at Grace on Black Rock Road. So it's still going to be 2 p.m. on Sunday. There will still be a moon bounce and ice cream, but it's going to be inside where we can be dry.
All right. I had forgotten about the ice cream, so that's exciting. So we'll see you there Sunday at 2 p.m. There's lots of announcements on the webpage and in your bulletins, ways that you can get involved, and some of the things that we've already mentioned in previous weeks we won't rehash here, but be sure to check especially the missions page on the webpage, so you can get involved in changing the world.
That's where you will find all about the things happening, especially in October, to change the world.
That's right. This morning, as I was doing my devotion at home, I was taken to Romans chapter 12. And I want to share a verse that I think is going to set us up nicely for the next 6 weeks of worship and study. This is from Paul in the Message translation. Don't become so well adjusted to your culture that you fit into it without even thinking. And so this is Paul's charge to us and Paul's charge to the church in terms of really being able to communicate the old story, the gospel, to the current generation that we live in, and being mindful, though, of the fine line, the balance between speaking the language and not being any different at all. Paul there in Romans 12 is calling the church to be different. There should be something different because we've been transformed by the love of God through Jesus the Christ. We're children of the King. We're not children of the world. We're called to be out into the world and be neighbors to the world, but we are going to be different as we live in our day-to-day actions.
And we get so caught up in what our preferences are for the way that we live our faith. We really think it's something that can be shaped and adapted. And you had a fun experience this week. I know everybody's up in arms about Facebook and some of the changes and the way the preferences work about that. And so you had an interesting interchange with some people about that
That's
issue.
right. My first instinct, whatever day it was, that Facebook made some major changes. And Facebook's the social network that a lot of us are on the internet. And there was everybody posted their status of the day were complaints about the new changes that Facebook had made. And one of the things they had said, or some of my friends had said, was if it wasn't broken, why'd they fix it? And then I said, wow, that sounds a lot like some church folk, and me included. When things get changed in the church or the way we do things, we say, well, how did they change that? It wasn't broken before. And then so I answered back to the person, I said, the problem becomes that our preferences, our personal preferences, are never broken. And so, if we prefer something, we get upset and get, upset about being changed. We really have to keep in mind that, the purpose of the church is to serve God, to serve Christ. And Christ sometimes calls us to serve in ways that are outside of our preferences. And so we're going to be working over the next 6 weeks and trying to figure out how do we stay current in the culture? How do we make appropriate changes where God is calling us to do so without having our feelings hurt when our personal preferences aren't met or are changed? But more importantly, even, how do we not go too far? We don't want to be exactly like the world. And just for an example, there's a lot of social clubs out there that do really good work. But we shouldn't be exactly like the social clubs. We are a faith-based church, and we should mirror the love of God. We shouldn't mirror the culture to an extent where you can't tell the difference.
And that's one of the things we're studying in our Bible study, the book of Hebrews, is getting away from what Eugene Peterson calls that Jesus and religion. That sometimes all of the accessories become what are more important to us than the very fact of Jesus' sacrifice and living our lives in thanksgiving to God for what he has done through Christ. So we're trying to get rid of those ands and get back to the basis of our faith.
And Paul has a perfect solution for all of us. As things change, or as things grow, or as we grow out of our comfort zone, or as things change the same, if we simply keep fixated on God, then we're going to be okay in terms of the culture and in terms of our relationship with Christ. So he ends that verse with, fix your attention on God as we go through this process, and we're going to be just fine.
Amen. Well, thank you for joining us again this week, and we hope to see you at worship at any of the 3 sites on Sunday morning.
And we hope to be in great conversation with you. It's going to be interactive over the next few weeks as we figure out where is God taking us and where is God taking the church. Amen, and we'll see you on Sunday.
Goodbye.